Hi, I just wanted to come on and talk to you about change because I think sometimes we don't really understand it, and so we get stuck in the same patterns of why can't I do this? So the client says to me, "Why aren't I exercising? I know it's good for me, but I'm not able to do it." And so I can just keep stuck in this guilt and shame cycle of not being able to do it. And I said to her, "What have you told yourself?" And she says, "I'm going to exercise every day." And I said to her, maybe it's too big. So maybe if we make it smaller and it doesn't have to be every day, it'll be more manageable in terms of the psychology of being able to do that. So maybe we can make it smaller. Secondly, we can also realize that we're humans. Some days we're tired and some days we have more energy. So we can also factor in that knowing ourselves a little bit better. And then thirdly, what we can also add in is actually what might go wrong. So actually, what makes me accountable? Is it somebody calling for me? Is it having somebody waiting for me? That may also help. And what we can also do is think about making it smaller, but how we look at it is also really important. So if we beat ourselves up and have a real shame narrative around I'm rubbish, I'm stupid because or useless because I didn't do X, Y, or Z, then what's going to happen is we're going to drop lower, and that view that we have of ourselves is pretty poor. And then it's almost like you drop below neutral, and then you have to work so hard to just get back up to neutral. You never really get up into that thriving place. So when we can look at it differently through the lens of compassion and say, I didn't manage it today, but actually I can make an effort to have a go tomorrow, and give ourselves the option to try again without the shame narrative and a more compassionate lens, the chances are we're going to make some progress. And we can make that progress because we're now stopping the guilt and shame cycle, and we're interrupting it with a more compassionate narrative for ourselves over time. And when we're compassionate with ourselves, when we take some of the pressure off ourselves, and I've got to do it every day, into a more realistic and more manageable goal, we're more likely to make progress. We are wired for short-term goals and gain. So of course we want it now, but actually often this stuff requires us to be consistent, persistent over a period of time to get to our goal. So these things often aren't quick fixes. And often what we do is we get fed up because we've tried for a little bit and it hasn't, we're not seeing results. We tend to kind of hop onto the next thing or the next thing. And so we can get stuck in these all or nothing patterns of I'm going all out, or I'm not doing anything at all. So sometimes finding that middle ground, and how we badge it up and how we approach it can make a massive difference to whether we succeed or fail. The rules we make up and the value we place on them is really important. So if you are kind of setting your whole self-worth or your whole value on whether you go running or not, that's not so great. So you're still a wonderful person even if you don't make that run in the morning. So when our sense of self is a little kind of healthier and better, we're able to kind of know that we're human. Sometimes we make things, sometimes we don't. And maybe when we win more of the battles than we lose, we start to make progress. And I think as human beings, we're not perfect. And so we're constantly monitoring and moving and recalibrating as we go. We can notice that we're sliding off the tracks, and we can kind of put the cart back on much quicker when we've got this kind of mentality, and we're also building those new neural pathways in our brains. So I hope that's useful. I sometimes think we just keep doing the same thing and over and over and over again, and we're not going to we really need to change what we're doing, how we frame, how we kind of badge it up, and how we tackle it to get it's about making the difference that makes a difference, and that's Gregory Bateson's words, not mine. I hope that's useful. Thank you for listening. Bye.